Funding for the Backus Performing Arts Series provided by Platinum members, Packaging Corporation of America, the Marshall N. Knutson Family Community Fund, and the City of International Falls. Gold members, Border Bank, Wagner Construction, Coca-Cola Bottling Company of International Falls, Jim and Sherry Lassard, Shannon's Incorporated, and Bremer Bank. Silver members, Borderland Insurance Agents, Thrivent Crossings Group, City Drug, Scott Gerlach in memory of Mary Jo Gerlach, and in memory of Karen Turnquist Johnson. And bronze sponsor, Northern Reliable Insurance.
Backus Community Center and the Icebox Radio Theater present Christmas in the Northland, a special holiday event featuring musical guests Slewgrass, Darcy Sullivan, and the world premiere of A Ghost for Christmas, an original radio play by the Icebox Radio Theater. Well, it's chilly outside, but warm and cozy inside the auditorium here at Backus Community Center. Let's head inside now, take our seats, and get the show started with Birchdale's own Slewgrass, the family bluegrass band.
Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Snowflakes are falling, my old home's calling, tall pines are humming, Christmas time's coming. Can't you hear them bells ringing, ringing joy? Don't you hear them singing? When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Holly's in the window, home where the wind blows, can't walk for running, Christmas time's coming. Can't you hear them bells ringing, ringing joy? Don't you hear them singing? When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Yearning for the folks at home when Christmas time's coming. Can't you hear them bells ringing, ringing joy? Don't you hear them singing? When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home.
It's Christmas time in the Northland, and once again families from all over are gathering together to share home and hearth, fellowship and food, all in the spirit of the season. Some gatherings are large, some small, and some are just two people. As our story begins, it's several days before Christmas. On a quiet street in a small town in the far, far north, there sits a large house. The house has seen better days, but it's solid, having endured 100 Northland winters. It looks dark and empty now, but as a light snow begins to fall, two figures, a man and a young girl, step up onto the porch and unlock the front door.
Stamp your boots.
Yes, Dad.
You don't want to track in snow. Oh, all right. Don't put a hole in the floor.
Ha ha.
They are Carolyn, all of 11 years old, and her father, Doug. Not too long ago, there were 3 in their family, but Carolyn's mother passed away, and this move to this new town is a fresh start for both of them. Or at least, that's what Doug hopes.
Come on, take off your coat.
It's cold.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I thought that agent said she'd turn on the furnace.
There's a fireplace.
Good idea.
Doug has a new job in this new town, and after winter break, Carolyn will have a new school, a prospect that is, well, a little scary, but that's all in the future. The pressing concern of this day is how to make a home and a Christmas inside a new house.
Dad?
Without any stuff.
Where's our stuff?
Oh, on the moving truck.
Okay. Where's the moving truck?
Yeah, I suppose I should call that guy again. I think he said 2 days.
We don't have our stuff for 2 whole days?
Well, we bought the house, so we have all the stuff the other owners left.
Oh, what stuff?
That chair. And, yeah, I see a kitchen table in there.
Wonderful.
Oh, and the real estate agent said the owners left some beds behind. So if you go upstairs and pick out a bedroom, there will be a bed up there. Why don't you go do that, Carolyn?
Dad, I told you. I want to be called Lynn now. Carolyn is an old lady's name.
Isn't Lynn an old lady's name?
Yes, but it's shorter.
Okay, Lynn. Oh, why don't you go pick out a bedroom and I'll see about building a fire.
All right. Dad?
What?
There's like 5 bedrooms up here. Which one should I take?
Well, whichever one you want. Oh, are the beds in the rooms?
Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
There's beds, just no mattresses.
Great.
Stupid move and stupid town and stupid giant house.
What's that?
Nothing. Just enjoying our giant, freezing, empty house, Father.
Is that sarcasm I hear?
Why, no. Of course not.
Okay, well, I got the fire going. Have you picked out a bedroom yet?
This one, I guess, it's the gloomiest.
Hurry up, Lynn. I got hot dogs we can roast.
Ooh, hot dogs.
It's a little while later now, and Lynn is getting ready for bed. Getting ready to bed down for the night.
Lynn. You sure you want this room? It's a little drafty.
Dad, this whole house is a little drafty. I like this room.
Yeah, it's just...
It's just what?
It's just so gloomy. It's tucked back in the rear of the house. There's only one window way up near the ceiling, and there's an attic door in the corner.
So?
Wouldn't you like one of the more cheerful rooms?
The only cheerful room I know is the one back in our old apartment. And if we're going to live in a haunted mansion, I might as well take the most haunted room, right?
Who said this house is haunted?
Oh, come on. Just look at it. I almost wish we'd move here around Halloween instead of Christmas. That way we wouldn't have to decorate.
Well, you wait. When the moving truck gets here with all our stuff, we'll settle in and decorate the old place and be all ready for Christmas. It'll be great.
If you say so.
Now, I'll be just down the hall if you need anything. Do you have enough blankets?
Yeah.
Did you find the bathroom okay?
Of course.
Do you have your phone charger?
Yes, Dad.
Good, cuz... Could I borrow it?
Did you lose your charger again? Fine, Dad. Here you go.
Thank you, sweetie.
Good night, Dad. Okay, first night in the new house. New town, new school. At least I don't have to worry about that right away. I just have to worry about sleeping in a haunted house. I wonder if it really is. What was that? Dad, is that you? That's not funny. All right, Dad has a weird sense of humor. That's a fact. He probably thinks this is funny. Ha! Okay, I can take a joke. What do you say to that, dumb ghost? This is my new room and I'm not leaving.
Get out!
Well, since you asked so nice, Daddy!
A Minnesota hot dish, kitchen's in a big mess. Throw me that dish rag, better get a trash bag. I need a salad for the potluck and a crock pot full of Minnesota hot dish. Hamburger, chop brown butter by the half pound till it's done by the side. Grease it up and swallow down. Tater tots, sour cream. Don't forget the green beans. Bake pot, start to steam. Top it up with saltines. Minnesota hot dish. Stewed tomatoes, onions, soak it up with cracker crumbs. Wild rice, bacon, fried bacon till it's petrified. Canned spam, celery, corn, and macaroni. Looks a little watery, but who needs a recipe from Minnesota hot dish? Minnesota hot dish. Kitchen's in a big mess. Throw me that dish rag. Better get a trash bag. I need a salad for the potluck and a crock pot full of Minnesota hot dish. Chips, wire west mushroom soup until it drips. Canned peas, shredded cheese, add some chicken of the season. Noodles, drained peppers, diced half a pound, potato slice. Stir it up, heat it twice. Leftovers are always nice. A Minnesota hot dish. Minnesota hot dish. Kitchen's in a big mess. Throw me that dish rag. Better get a trash bag. I need a salad for the potluck and a crock pot full of Minnesota hot dish. I need a salad for the potluck and a crock pot full of Minnesota hot dish. Minnesota hot dish. Minnesota hot dish. Minnesota hot dish. Minnesota hot dish.
Back in the little town of Icebox, Lynn and her father are having a bit of an argument. You remember the two of them moved to town just a few days before Christmas and are living in a big, drafty house with no furniture and very little heat. It looks, for all the world, like a haunted house, which is just what Lynn thinks it is after she heard a spooky voice in her room last night. It's morning now as we hear Lynn's father say,
There's no such thing as ghosts.
But I heard it, Dad.
You heard something, I'm sure, but there's no such thing as ghosts.
It talked.
It was just the wind.
The wind can't say get out.
Look, honey, I know what this is about, and I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
I know it's hard to move right around Christmas, but we didn't have any choice. My job starts tomorrow, your new school starts in a few days, and our lease back in the city was up. We had nowhere to go.
But why did we have to come here, to this house? All we needed was an apartment back in the city. This place is huge.
Well, believe it or not, houses are easier to find than apartments around here. And I figured we'd just grow into it. There's a yard to play in and a bunch of extra rooms. Hey, how about when our stuff gets here, we set up one of the rooms for games, huh? Put the video system up, maybe get a ping pong table too? Does that sound like fun?
I don't think a ping pong table will keep ghosts away.
Honey.
You don't believe me.
What?
You don't believe me. I heard a voice and you think it's just my imagination or something.
Well, it's been a tough time for us, and sometimes when things are tough, our imaginations run away with us. Big empty room in a big scary house.
So you admit that it's scary?
Your imagination just played a trick, that's all.
I don't think that's what happened.
I'll bet tonight, when we go to bed, you don't hear anything.
Except that huge snowstorm that's blowing in.
Except the huge snowstorm that's blowing in. But who cares? We have the furnace working. We still have the fireplace. It'll be cozy.
We're sitting on the floor, Dad.
Floors can be cozy. Sort of. Look, will you do me a favor and give it one more night?
And if the ghost comes back, we can move?
Well, not right away. We just bought this house, so we don't have any money, and...
I know.
Will you try, honey?
I guess.
Thank you.
If you couldn't tell, Lynn didn't really feel like trying. She felt scared, but she wanted to help her dad if she could. So when nighttime came, she dutifully climbed the stairs to her room and snuggled up under the blankets, which was just one blanket on top of a pile of other blankets, seeing as she didn't have a mattress yet. It was snowing hard by then, and the room was cold. Lynn could see the snowflakes flying by her single window as they threw spooky shadows up on the wall. She was not sleepy, so she lay in her bed and listened to the old creaky house.
Stupid house. Dad says you're not haunted, but he didn't hear what I heard last night. Easy to say there's no such thing as ghosts when you don't hear them. Hey, ghost, why don't you go haunt my dad for a little while? Maybe he'll believe in you then. No, wait, don't do that. He doesn't deserve that. If you have to haunt somebody, haunt me. Though I have to point out there's a lot of empty rooms in this house. You could haunt an empty room, right? Look, don't haunt Dad. I'm mad at him right now, but he doesn't deserve to be haunted or anything. I know he's just trying to make things better for us. It's just, my mom died 2 years ago. You'd think after 2 years it wouldn't hurt so bad, but it still does. And Dad's really, really trying hard. I can tell. I guess he thought leaving the city would help me forget. But I can't forget. Not really. And you know what, Ghost? I don't want to forget. But I don't want to hurt Dad either, so I guess go ahead and haunt me. If you have to haunt someone, it'd better be me, okay? I'm talking to myself. Dad's right. I'm 2 Fruit Loops short of a bowl. There's no such thing as ghosts. On the other hand, Daddy!
Ooh, it's another scary night for Lynn, but just so you know, she got through it okay. By sleeping in her dad's room. It's daytime once again now. The town is digging out from the first big storm of the year, and Lynn's dad is heading to his first day at his new job.
Are you sure you're going to be okay after last night and everything?
I'll be okay, Dad. I'm going to move all my stuff to another bedroom.
That might be for the best. And maybe get out of the house a little bit today? Did you notice that the library is just 2 blocks down?
I did, yeah. I'll probably head there this afternoon.
Okay, and here.
$20?
There's a cafe next door to the library. Go buy some lunch somewhere warm with people around.
Dad, are you worried about me?
Always, sweetheart. Your cell charged?
Yep.
Okay. Call me if you need anything, all right?
All right, Dad. Have a good first day.
Lynn's father took off for his new job, and Lynn went to work moving things out of her old room into the bedroom that was right next to her dad's. But moving didn't take very long, given all Lynn had was a suitcase and a backpack and a bundle of blankets she was using as a mattress. So after half an hour or so, Lynn decided to venture out into the snow and find the public library. It was a bright, clear day outside, and the temperature had dropped to near zero. Being a northern girl, Lynn knew how to bundle up, but she was still pretty chilled when she walked through the doors of the old brick building, which had metal letters on the outside reading, Library Community Building. She moved with a purpose, because Lynn didn't just come to the library to kill time. Lynn loved books, and knew that the library would be the best place to do a little research on a certain old house.
Excuse me?
Yes, can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for the local history section.
Well, we don't have a local history section as such, but if you look across the foyer there, you'll see the sign for the Minnesota room. All our local history is in there.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
I don't think I know you.
Probably not. I just moved to town.
Then welcome. I like people who make the library one of their first stops in town. I'm Miss Page, the director.
I'm Lynn, the student.
Very nice to meet you, Lynn. Have you started school yet?
Not yet. We just moved and it's winter break.
Oh, that's right, it is. You must be reading local history just for fun then.
Well, not exactly. I was hoping to do a little research on our new house.
That sounds like fun. We don't have a house-by-house history, of course, but there are some locally published books. Which house is yours?
It's 424 7th Street.
424 7th Street? Oh, I know just the book. Come with me.
Really? That's amazing. I thought I'd have to dig through some dusty old records or something.
No, I've got the perfect book in the Minnesota room. Here. Anderson, Michael, Anderson, Michelle, Anderson. Here it is. I think this book has all the information you need.
Famous haunted houses of the Northland?
Yes, Lynn, didn't you know? You live in the most haunted house in town.
Eating chocolates all alone, sitting waiting by the phone. Just the cats for company. Their names are Buster and Fluffy. How pathetic is my life to be a school bus driver's wife. Just destined to be free, don't you see, free of all prosperity. Average family, average job, I'm so average I could sob. It's no living in the fast lane life for me. He's average Joe and I'm Jane Doe. We got a good long road to hoe. Being average is my fate and destiny. Drive high mileage minivans, motors clank like pots and pans. Hit a deer 10 years ago, now gorilla tape is my mojo. Homes on a dead end, dirt road street. Roadkill's my favorite thing to eat. Looks like a high of 10 below. Don't you know, might as well go shovel snow. Average family, average job. I'm so average I could sob. It's no living in the fast lane life for me. He's average Joe and I'm Jane Doe. We got a good long road to hoe. Being average is my fate and destiny. Named Lucky. Clean the church on Saturday. My kids are average, by the way. I'll never be a superstar. I never move away too far. Already got a plot picked out for me by my mom's at the cemetery. Average family, average job. I'm so average I could sob. It's no living in the fast lane life for me. He's average Joe and I'm Jane Doe. We got a good long road to hoe. Being average is my fate and destiny. Yes, being average is my fate and destiny.
We good?
I don't know. Yep.
There we go. Okay. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory streams from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, face with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth.
Well, things have gotten very interesting. You'll remember Lynn visited the public library to try and learn more about her house when the librarian gave her a big shock.
Famous Haunted Houses of the Northland? That's the book you wanted to show me?
Why, yes. Didn't you know?
No, what? That I live in a real haunted house?
You seem upset.
Yeah, because I live in a real haunted house.
I see. There's been a misunderstanding. Look at the book's subtitle.
Award-winning Halloween Haunts of Northern Minnesota. I don't understand.
This book isn't about the supernatural. It's about people who convert their homes into haunted house amusements for Halloween. You know, decorations, guided tours, and the like.
Oh.
There's an organized group behind this book. Home hunters, they call themselves. And Cornelius Fidget is one of their premier members.
Who?
Cornelius Fidget, the former owner of your house at 424 7th Street. He's quite a local character. He always went all out for Halloween. He spent a lot of time here in the library researching his inventions.
You mean he was an inventor?
Exactly. But he never found much success, unfortunately. And last summer, after working at it for years, he finally gave up, sold his house, and moved away. It was very sad not seeing his place all lit up this Halloween.
That is kind of sad. Do you know where he is?
No, unfortunately. I remember right around the 4th of July, he came in, returned the last few books he'd checked out, thanked me, then walked right out the door, never to be seen again. A neighbor of his told me his house was completely cleaned out the next day.
Wow. I wish I could talk to him. Ask him about the ghost.
He never mentioned anything about a ghost to me. As far as I know, 424 7th Street was only haunted by props and special effects.
But I heard something.
I'm sorry?
I heard something in one of the rooms of the house. A voice.
Fascinating. Well, we don't have any books on ghost hunting exactly, although we do have several videos from that Ghost Hunters television show.
No, that show scares me.
Me too. Tell me, what is it you'd like to do?
Make it stop. I mean, Dad and I just moved to town and everything's really stressful right now. I just want the voices to quit talking to me.
And what do they say exactly?
Mostly they just moan and say, "Get out," like in a scary movie.
Well, why don't you spend the day here and we'll research the subject together.
So Lynn spent a very pleasant day in the company of her new friend, the librarian, searching the books and the internet for some words of advice on how to rid your house of a ghost. But soon it was time for Lynn to head home, and by then she had an idea as to what she wanted to do. The wind had picked up as she went up to the old bedroom where she slept the first 2 nights in her new house. Why she was there, you ask? Because Lynn was feeling very brave.
All right, Ghost. You don't like me and I don't like you. So we're going to have it out. Right now. Hello? Anybody there? This is dumb. There's no such thing as ghosts. Just like Miss Page said. You know what, Ghost? I don't believe in you. My daddy bought this house, and that means it belongs to us now. so you can just keep quiet from now on, all right? That's what I thought. Ha! There's no such thing as ghosts. Or maybe there is. Wow. Maybe we could work something out.
Get out.
Okay, all right. You know what? I want to see you.
Get out.
Yeah, you said that already. But I'm not going anywhere until I see you. I want to see a real, live ghost.
Get out, 'cause I'm invisible.
Tough. I'm not going anywhere until I see you. I want a full body apparition.
A what?
A full body apparition. Sorry, I've been reading ghost hunting books all afternoon.
Can you come back later?
Wait a minute. This is the room with the little door leading up to the attic. Dad said I shouldn't open it.
You should obey your father.
That's it. I'm opening it.
No, wait. It's really scary back here. Spiders and snakes and things and peppermint sticks.
Who are you?
I'm a ghost.
You don't look like a ghost. You look like a man with a microphone and a bunch of sound equipment.
Well, ghosts can have sound equipment. You don't know.
Wait a minute. You're Cornelius Fidget. The librarian told me all about you. She said you moved.
Well, I did move from the house up to the attic.
You mean you've been here all along?
Well, why not? It's my house.
Not anymore. Dad bought it.
Well, he bought it because he had money and I don't. But I will soon. Such a wonderful invention I've been cooking up. $1 million idea.
What is it?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
You are crazy, Mr. Fidget.
Crazy like a fox.
No, just crazy. You sell your house, but sneak back in and hide in the attic, then try to scare us away with ghost noises?
But you were scared, right? Admit it.
Sure, I was scared, but we're not going to just leave because of a few voices.
Oh, I was working on lots of other things. Doors were going to open and close by themselves, spooky creaks and things that go bump in the night. It was going to be wonderful.
Why don't you just get a new place? You sold this house, so you must have money.
No, my dear, the bank has money. I'm flat busted.
Well, you can't stay here.
What do you mean?
It's our house.
Well, technically, but I have important work to do.
We do too. My dad just started his new job and I start a new school in a few days. And it's Christmas. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Fidget, but you need to leave.
You can't. I'll be on the street.
Well, you can't stay in our attic. I'm sorry, but
Wait. I invoke the spirit of Christmas.
You what?
I invoke the spirit of Christmas. At this festive time of year, no one who invokes it can be turned out into the street. It's the law.
No, it's not.
Well, now, how do you know? Didn't you just say you're new in town?
Well,
I've got you. I invoke the spirit of Christmas, and there's nothing you can do about it, so there.
well, I'm going to ask Miss Page about it at the library.
You do that, little girl.
I will!
The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells, From outside came the sound of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest. Then he looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" I asked. "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand, and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nugget centers and as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high, it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. "There," said the conductor, "is the North Pole." The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. "They are gathering at the center of the city," the conductor told us. "That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas." "Who receives the first gift?" we all asked. The conductor answered, "He will choose one of you." "Look!" shouted one of the children. "The elves!" Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped, and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing their silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us, and pointing to me, he said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked, "Now what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine. But the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas!" A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, But the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said. But the train gave a lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled out. He cupped his hands around hes mouth. "Merry Christmas!" he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it does for all who truly believe. The Polar Express, written and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg.
Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm ready to go ice fishing. I've got a rod and a minnow, where the walleye glisten below the hole where I listen. If you go outside, don't eat yellow snow. I'm
things have gotten pretty interesting for Lynn in her new house. You'll remember that she discovered Mr. Fidget, the house's former owner, hiding in the attic. But when she tried to get him to leave, he invoked the spirit of Christmas to stop her. Now, Lynn has as much Christmas spirit as anyone, but she never heard of it being used as a rule before. So she went to the one person she knew in town who could help.
Back again, I see. You don't have much time. The library closes in just a few minutes.
That's okay. I don't need much time. I just have a question about the local laws.
Oh, that's not our purview. You'll want the law library over at the courthouse. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4.
I just have one quick question.
I'm not supposed to give out legal advice.
I don't want to send anyone to jail or sue them. At least I don't think I do. It's just a situation has come up at home. You'd be interested in this anyway.
Oh?
Yes. It turns out Mr. Fidget, the former owner of my house, he didn't leave town after all.
What?
Yeah. He's still in the house. I found him hiding in the attic.
Well, that's... are you sure?
Positive. I talked to him and everything. He's been using some of his Halloween sound effects to make me think the house was haunted. Turns out there is no ghost.
Well, this is very disturbing news. I wonder what would compel Cornelius to do that.
I don't know, but I have a bigger problem. He's invoked the spirit of Christmas.
He's what?
He's invoked the spirit of Christmas. That's what he said. He said it was against the law to turn someone out on the street at Christmas time. And that's my question.
You want to know if such a law exists?
Yes.
No. No, it doesn't.
You're sure?
Yes. I helped one of our local newspaper reporters write a story about unusual laws last year. If that law existed, we would surely have found it.
All right. Then I'm calling Dad, and he'll call the police.
Oh. Yes, that's certainly you're right. But before you do, I think you should take a moment and think this over.
Why do I need to do that? This guy's trespassing.
Yes. But he's also, well, homeless.
So what? So are we, practically. We're in this big, drafty house, and our stuff hasn't arrived yet, so I'm sleeping on a pile of blankets. Blankets! And then I find out this old guy is in my bedroom trying to scare us out of our wits. I mean, I didn't want to move here to begin with. I just wanted things to stay the same, but nothing's been the same since my mom died.
Forgive me, but your mother passed recently?
2 years ago.
And your father moved you here for a fresh start, yes?
Yeah, he said the old apartment was kind of full of her. He was sad there all the time. I guess I was too.
I remember when my mother passed. It was like a hole in my heart.
Did it ever heal?
No, it never really does. But the hole gets smaller and you get used to it being there. And by, I realized my mother would have wanted me to go on living. We who are left behind must honor those that pass away. For me, that meant continuing my schooling and becoming a librarian. My mother was a librarian herself, you see.
Oh, I guess I never thought of that.
Thought of what?
Of what my mother would want me to do. I was too busy missing her to think about what she would want.
Well, what do you think she'd say about your current situation?
You mean about the ghost? I mean, Mr. Fidget?
Yes.
Well, pretty sure Mom wouldn't like him hanging out in her attic.
A fair point.
But I also know Mom would want me to help him. She was always helping people, and it would be pretty mean kicking him out right before Christmas.
Indeed.
What do you think I should do?
I think you should go tell your father, and then before you go home, I think you should bring him here to the library. I have an idea that might help.
Lynn felt much better talking to Miss Page. So she walked down to her dad's new job and met him just as he was punching out. On their way home, she told him everything and made a quick stop at the library to talk things through with her new friend, during which they hatched an ingenious plan. It's an hour later now, and Lynn is back in the house, standing before the tiny door that leads up to the attic, and she looks very resolute.
Mr. Fidget? Mr. Fidget, are you there?
I know what you're going to say, and I invoke the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, there's no such law.
Well, now, how do you know? You're new in town.
I asked Miss Page at the library. She said there was no such law in the books.
No, you know Miss Page? No, peppermint sticks, then you know the whole story.
I know you were an inventor, and you had to give up this house.
Yes, that's true.
And I also know you used to go all out and decorate it for Halloween. And all the kids in town loved it. And you gave out full-sized candy bars.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I love Halloween. And Christmas and all the holidays.
Were you really in a Halloween book?
Oh, of course. Just a slim little self-published volume, but they took plenty of pictures. They said my house was the best haunt within 50 miles.
Wow.
Mind you, I took it all down on All Saints' Day and went to work decorating for Christmas right away. Tree on each floor, computerized light display outside, robo-reindeer.
Oh, that reminds me. Miss Page gave me some legal advice concerning you.
She did. She's not supposed to do that.
It involves the spirit of Christmas.
Oh.
I am invoking subset B.
Yeah, you're invoking what?
I am invoking subset B of the spirit of Christmas, which says that if anyone is in real need, you must help.
Really? You mean you're not going to throw me out?
I'm going to invite you to dinner. You probably haven't had much to eat for a while, have you?
Oh, it's true. I won't deny it. Being stuck up here in the attic, I had to eat with whatever I had with me, and luckily I had a whole case of Ritz crackers. And can I tell you something?
What?
I am really sick of Ritz crackers.
Well, we don't have much yet, but there's a pizza downstairs.
Sold. So Mr. Fidget and Lynn went down to the living room, where he sheepishly introduced himself to Lynn's dad, who was understandably annoyed at the little man, but agreed to let him stay for dinner. It was there, over pepperoni on paper plates, that Lynn and her father got Mr. Fidget's whole story, how he struggled to come up with a successful invention, how hard he'd work on keeping his house festive at every time of the year, and how he eventually decided to hatch the harebrained scheme of hiding in the attic and trying to scare away the house's new owners.
That was pretty harebrained, you know.
Yeah, I know, or at least I can see it now.
I ought to send you to jail.
Dad, the spirit of Christmas.
But I'm not going to, because as my daughter points out, it's Christmas.
Well, that's certainly very kind of you, and I admit you'd be well within your rights to put me away.
You can stay a little while, but you have to find a place of your own eventually.
Yes, I know.
Dad!
What is it, sweetie?
We have a ton of extra bedrooms.
No, young lady. I couldn't impose. Not after everything I've done. Besides, if I'm to continue my work, I need some room to spread out in.
You mean like that shed in the garden?
Well, yes. I always meant to do something with that shed. It'd make a good workshop.
That it would. Or an apartment.
Come again?
Well, I noticed you wired that place up all to code, and there's room above the joists for sleeping quarters.
Dad, you're speaking carpenter again.
Oh, is that what you do?
Oh, yeah, I just got on at the mill. I could insulate that shed, you know. Wouldn't even take that long. And with proper insulation, that wood stove would provide more than enough heat. All we'd have to do is plumb the place, add a little bathroom with a shower. I could do all that work in a few weekends.
Yeah, you do all that for me?
I would.
Well, thank you, but if I may, why?
Well, truth be told, I have a few inventions myself that I'd like help developing.
Ah, my boy. Now you're speaking my language. But before I can agree to such an arrangement, I feel I owe you an apology, Lynn.
You do?
Yes. My scheme to scare you away was silly and stupid, and it cost you a couple nights' sleep. And as such, I owe you a debt. I shall design and build you whatever you want.
I don't think that's necessary.
No. I won't hear of it. Tell me, young lady, what do you like to do?
Well, I always kind of wanted to get into music.
How about a recording studio in one of the spare bedrooms?
Sure, but won't that be a lot of work?
Oh, that kind of work is fun. And besides, we can plan it all out over Christmas.
Plan it where? We still don't have our stuff.
Hey, look what's out on the drive.
Moving truck!
Right on time, too.
And so, finally, Lynn and Doug could move in properly. And with Mr. Fidget's help, they had the place properly decorated for Christmas in no time. And by, Mr. Fidget did indeed move into the newly remodeled shed, which they now call the cabin. And Lynn did get her very own recording studio. And eventually they became a family. A different sort of family, but a family just the same. And at every holiday of the year, Christmas included, 424 7th Street was the best decorated house in town. The end.
Should old acquaintance be forgotten, never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And surely you buy your pine cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. We too have run about the slopes and picked the daisies fine, but we wandered many weary foot since old lang syne. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dawn, but seas between us have roared since old lang syne. And there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give us a hand, oh thine. We take a right good whale draft for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we take a cup of kindness yet